Howdy there once again, YouTube. My name is Ben Ferraiuolo, and I am back once again. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell. Also, please visit my website, https://monitorsize.weebly.com, monitorsize.weebly.com. Do not add a www into the URL. There is no www. My website would actually surprise you to all the information that's on there. I tried to compile everything that I currently have learned in a way a simple person could understand it. But just remember, I still have a lot to learn, guys. It is still a work in progress, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing criticism to help me shape my website. I actually have some free time today, so I'm going to spend that free time looking at seismic signals and creating this video for you. Since September began, Yellowstone has been relatively quiet with a few earthquakes here and there. However, in August, there were a total of 4 earthquake swarms at Yellowstone. One was most likely a normal tectonic swarm near Maple Creek, actually occurring directly under Straight Creek. And the other 3 swarms occurred at the northern tip of West Thumb Lake and carried rapid succession characteristics, possibly indicative of 2 things. 1, a continuation of the July 5th West Thumb event, which I have always thought to be a case of magma intrusion. A very short case, small case of magma intrusion, nothing like the 2008-2009 event. And 2, possible injection of either a small amount of magma or magmatically derived hydrothermal fluids. The rapid succession characteristics do show us, however, that the swarms at West Thumb are usually caused by rock-breaking sequences. The only 2 things down there that I know of is magma and hydrothermal fluids. So yes, August did see 4 minor swarms, but as seen here on the GPS deformation charts, bottom is vertical, uplift subsidence, the middle is horizontal, north-south deformation, and the top chart is horizontal east-west deformation. Also notice, when you're looking at short period instruments and you're finding a channel to download seismic information from, or seismic data, and do you notice how it's usually EHE, EHN, or EHZ? It kind of works in the same way as this. Notice how there are 2 horizontal charts and 1 vertical. Notice how with seismographs there's usually 1 vertical channel, 2 horizontal channels. That way, if you have all 3 north, south, east, west vertical, that gives you almost a 3D view of what is going on and how the seismic waves propagated away from the source. But yes, as you can see here, on the vertical chart, you may notice we have been seeing some subsidence with a slight jump in the middle of 2017 almost. And subsidence is also known as deflation. But as of right now, look right here, guys, look in this area. It does seem possible a new sequence of uplift, also known as inflation, could be starting. If so, expect to see swarms around the caldera as the ground starts to bulge once again. And if it does, this will be the 3rd uplift sequence since 2005. Alright, let's go back. And let's go to, here is LKWY, the one I just showed. Here's WLWY, which is just northeast of LKWY. You can see here as well that inflation appears to be starting once again. It looks like it's flattening out a little bit, so we will see how this goes. I don't know how bad it will be yet, so we will wait and see. Let's go back to isthisthing.org. So this morning there was actually a good-sized earthquake in this area right about here, just northeast of Canyon Junction, which is right down around this area. It was reportedly a magnitude 2.9 earthquake at 10.7 kilometers in depth at 13:30 UTC September 11, 2018. As you can see, it was in an odd area around Washburn Range. Of course, earthquakes do occur around here and there, but the majority of the time we do see earthquakes either occurring beneath Yellowstone Lake, which is right here, West Thumb Lake, the northern portion, which is right here, which is where I believe the most recent case of intrusion has occurred, I believe, and also near Hebgen Lake and Maple Creek and Madison River. Zooming in more, you can see it occurred just south of Tower Junction, which is actually a good distance away from the caldera rim. Remember, the caldera boundary, whoa, I went too far. The caldera boundary is right about here. You can kind of see the caldera imprint. So it is beyond the boundary of the caldera, and the magma chamber is right about here. Alright, and here we are at YJC. You will notice that, let me go back to those people who have not followed my videos and don't understand it. This is YJC. Notice how this is a whole web recorder right here. Notice how you only see a piece of this. That's because I only downloaded the specific data I needed just to see this one earthquake right here. You can download any type of seismic data you want from anywhere in the world you want. It's very easy, and it's very easy to plug into these programs. To me, now, it is just as fast as searching for seismographs that I used to a long time ago when I was using the MTech seismographs. Well, I usually don't use online web recorders anymore. I do not. Except for locating small little events, and then I'll go into swarm or waves and analyze it there. So here's the waveform analysis right here for the 2.9 earthquake that they reported. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. All by itself, just one lonely 2.9 earthquake. As you will notice when I turn on the spectrogram analysis, it appears to max out at about 15 to 20 hertz. In my book, I would consider this about a mid-frequency earthquake, a mid to high-frequency earthquake. Usually a high-frequency tectonic earthquake would go, I'm going to say maybe around 25, 30 hertz or so. Now remember, seismic spectrograms that seismologists use only record three things. And no, this is not a gas spectrometer. A gas spectrometer would look way different. This is only used to record three things. Number one, frequency in hertz. Now remember, when you learned in school how to read charts, did the math teacher tell you not to look at the sides of the chart? No. Whenever you see a chart, it doesn't matter what it's for. What do you first do when you see a chart? You look at the sides and the bottom and the top and get all the information before you look at the chart. A lot of people don't do that nowadays. Okay, this is recorded in hertz, Hz. Whenever you see Hz, that means hertz. That means frequency. And then number two, time period at the bottom. Now, to see a good time period for analyzing things, you need a good couple-minute time period. The UNAVCO spectrograms I never use because they have a whole 24-hour period in way too small of a time frame. You want to know what I'm talking about? Look at this right here. See how it looks nice and spread out? Let me zoom out as far as I can. Okay, now you tell me, how tiny does that look? See? It tricks your brain, doesn't it? And let's zoom back in all the way, and I think I just froze the program. There we go, it's back. So you notice that the more time that you have in a small little area will make everything look tiny, and you won't even be able to see it, really. So I suggest if you really want to look at some good spectrograms to use Swarm, and it's very easy, guys. Very easy to learn. And number three, the last thing it records is power. Blue is weak and red is strong. Don't believe me? Well, look right here. Power range, decibels. Let's see what this does if I do 520. Okay. Wow. Yeah, see? Okay, so that is power range. Let's try down to 10. Okay. Yes, power range. See? It's really easy to get the hang of and is actually really fun if you're interested in monitoring Yellowstone and other volcanoes accurately. And I am interested in seismology. I'm going to make a career out of it, and I love this stuff, guys. It's really fun. Except it does take some time to learn, though, sadly. You know, you can even download seismic data from anywhere in the world, even your hometown, or even downtown Seattle, and plug it into Swarm and create your own spectrograms, or your own waveform analysis, or your own spectra analysis, or take a screenshot of a helicorder and make your own helicorders. Yes, you can do a lot of stuff with this. Let's go to waves real quick. Alrighty here. This is the 2.9 earthquake that occurred at 10.7 kilometers in depth. I have borehole 206, borehole 950 in Norris, YJC, and YML. Let's zoom into this event right here. Again, with the time frame, notice how the farther you zoom out, and okay, let's not use the word zoom out. You notice down here, watch when I zoom in. Every time I zoom in, there's less and less time in the same time frame. You know what I'm trying to say? Look at that. The more time you have, the smaller the events look. That's why if you're looking at a spectrogram for a 24-hour period in a tiny little image, it's going to be hard to see stuff, guys. I mean, you might get the overall picture of what happened during the day, but specific earthquake events, low-frequency events, it's going to be hard to see. As we are zoomed in here, you can see the P wave arrived. Let me zoom in farther, and it arrived right here. Let's mark that as the P wave. Let's zoom back out. And there it is. You can see the P wave arrived at YJC first, out of all the neighboring seismographs, indicating that the earthquake arrived at this station first. Remember, the difference between seismic events and surface noise is that even the smallest seismic event propagates away from the source, just like a ripple in a pond. For example, a 0.1 earthquake can appear possibly on multiple neighboring seismic stations, but surface noise usually doesn't, unless two seismic stations are in very close proximity. So that is pretty much the only earthquake for today, except for probably two other very, very tiny microquakes, but I don't have time to get into that right now. Let's see, I'm at the wrong one. And here we are to my home state, Washington State, the good old Evergreen State. There's also an earthquake about 60 miles or so north of where I live. We have had an increase in seismicity as of late. Not an increase in quantity, but an increase in magnitude. Usually our earthquakes are only around 0.5, 1.0, 1.5, but I have noticed a few 3s and a few 2.5s. This was a magnitude 2.1 earthquake at 14.2 kilometers in depth at 15:05 UTC this morning. Here's a piece of the helicorder that I created for station UW-MBW, which resides just about 10 miles or so east of where this earthquake occurred. Here is the waveform analysis. Let me turn off persistence scale real quick. Yep, there's the waveform analysis. Let's zoom in a little bit. This does appear to be about a 2.1 to 2.3 earthquake. Now, here's the spectrogram analysis. This appears to be a typical high-frequency earthquake indicative of a strike-slip event. Here's the spectra real quick. Alright, here we are in Oklahoma. There is also a good-sized earthquake in Oklahoma. This was reported to be a magnitude 3.3 earthquake at 3.8 kilometers in depth at 16:11 UTC, which is about 9:11 a.m. this morning, Pacific time. Let's click the link real quick. Go to the interactive map. Zoom in. Zooming in, you can see this earthquake struck right between Perry is actually my dad's name, and Hennessy, Oklahoma, right in the middle. Right on, what is that, Interstate 74? Or SR 74? I don't know if that's Interstate or SR. Now, finding seismic data for these areas is quite easy, except for the area right where this earthquake occurred. That would happen, right? So I found one that was very close, kind of close. Block. Alright, looks like the seismograph is a little messed up, but we are able to see this earthquake here. Let me turn off persistent scale, do manual scale. I'm going, since it maxed out at about 41,000, I'm going to do 40,000 amplitude count. Go back, 40,000, manual scale. Okay, alright, so there we go. Here is the helicorder I created for BLOK, which is about 10 to 20 miles away from the epicenter of this earthquake. Now, this is the waveform analysis. Remember, a waveform is what makes up a seismic trace. A seismic trace is also known as a seismogram. A Webby-corder is what displays seismograms, and a seismograph is the same thing as a seismometer. Don't believe me? Take about 10 seconds on Google to prove it. So this is the waveform analysis right here. Of course, contains normal high-frequency tectonic characteristics, but it appears... Here, let's look at the whole thing. Look at that. Look at how long it lasts. Let's see. Right about 1614 from about 1611. That's about 3 minutes, guys. That's pretty long. Because it's weird. For the high frequency it has a longer period than what we would expect to see. I know this is from a station that is sort of distant from the epicenter, but why does the coda, the end of the earthquake, last so long? Now let's turn on the spectrogram analysis of this event. You can see blatant high frequency characteristics. But the earthquake lasts quite long versus its magnitude and its frequency. But yeah, you could tell it lasts quite long. Oh, whoops. There it is. Usually high-frequency tectonic earthquakes with this magnitude from this far away lasts about half as long. Very odd. Maybe this is what fracking earthquakes look like? Could be. And you notice its tail is very long. Very long, guys. That's very odd. Moving on, there was also another earthquake that is interesting to me. It occurred off the coast of North Korea and was reported to be a magnitude 4.5, occurring at a striking 509 kilometers in depth. What is up with all the deep earthquake events lately? It seems like a lot more earthquakes as of late are occurring around 500 to 650 kilometers in depth, which is quite deep. At first glance this morning, I thought in my head, oh no, Kim just tested another nuke. But upon closer examination, you could tell that it did occur off the coast of North Korea. So we'll keep an eye on this area. Don't know why a deep earthquake event is happening right here. Alright, let's go up, 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 up into Alaska. Right here. Now, the earthquake swarm in northern Alaska is still continuing quite strong, though it seems to have died down just a little bit. Now, it is a little longer than what I would expect if they were just aftershocks. I know there are no known magma sources near this area, but it is my personal theory that this swarm, which started with two 6.8 earthquakes, including thousands of events since about a month or so ago, is indicative of a brand new magma reservoir. A little baby volcano possibly being created. Possibly, I said. Another theory, not as fun, but still I don't have any proof to back it up yet, is possibly a massive gas pocket of maybe methane or something trying to escape. However, I have never heard of gas pockets creating large earthquakes such as a 6.8. Alright, here's the helicorder I created for the seismic station that is the closest to this large earthquake swarm that has been going on for a good month or so. Seismic station C27K within the TA network. I will be using broadband vertical BHZ. I will actually be doing a quick separate blog post and video about this event in the next month or so. But I have been trying to analyze as much data as possible from this specific swarm, since to me it seems something might be trying to come up through the crust. In my opinion, aftershocks would not last this long. Also, the swarm started with not one, but two 6.8 earthquakes. Yeah, two of them. Alright, right here we see a global teleseism. You can tell that is very blatantly a teleseism. Let's zoom out. Yep, definitely. Let's zoom back in real quick. Back to the waveform. We got one right here. Maxing out about 6,000. Multiple earthquakes. This one actually looks like a hybrid event almost. Let's check that out. That does kind of look like a hybrid event. And this one looks like a semi-distant earthquake right there. Not seeing anything indicative of magma intrusion. It still could be happening, but I'm not seeing anything. I'm still believing, though, that this is being caused by magma. That is just my feeling. Wow, that's a very sharp earthquake. Look at that one. Yeah, high frequency. All these look like high frequency VT, volcano tectonic earthquakes. They appear to be. All of them, high frequency, high frequency, high frequency. Yep. Now, notice how these are occurring at a slightly higher frequency than what we see even at Yellowstone. Now, that's interesting. Let's see, it's a semi-distant earthquake, I believe. Let's move on. So that's it just for the past 2 days for C27K in the TA network, right above the earthquake swarm that is still occurring in northern Alaska. So you can see that no low-frequency events were really spotted yet. There is way too much data for this area, so it could take years to go through every separate event all by myself. Remember, guys, this is not what I do for a living. This is my hobby right now. People on YouTube are always so serious. What does this have to do with Yellowstone now? Like I was talking about the 2008-2009 earthquake swarm in the last video, and someone commented saying, well, what does this have to do with Yellowstone now? It's like, what, people can't be interested in things and upload videos about what they're interested about? People need to stop being so serious and become humble. You know, maybe if people found Jesus, that would help. But this is my hobby right now. I am attempting to go to school for volcanic seismology by summer-fall 2019. But I want people to understand I usually only report things I am interested in. I usually don't have time for much else. It's hard to juggle work, life, kids, family, career development, and hobbies. Other YouTubers spend their whole day making videos and trying to get subscribers and stuff like that. Well, I'm only doing this for fun because this is what I enjoy. However, Yellowstone and Long Valley will always be the top 2 places I monitor each day. In any given day, while juggling everyday life, I go through multiple data sets and sources for hours, guys. I usually do it at night. However, once I put the kids to bed. But usually I go outside about once per hour just for about 10 minutes, and I usually have my smartphone on me. I am always constantly checking everything everywhere. Global seismic activity, and especially hourly activity at Yellowstone and Long Valley. This seriously is my passion. I would rather trust a YouTuber who actually has a passion on this than a YouTuber who just wants to make a quick buck. Well, that is it for this update. I will of course update you if anything changes. Would you like to know why I rarely use online seismograms anymore? Well, my website and multiple of my previous videos will tell you that. My website again is https://monitorsize.weebly.com, monitorseis.weebly.com, and there is no www in the URL. Please also visit my channel, click videos, and go through my videos. My two-part video about amateur seismology basics, misconceptions, and tools was surprisingly not seen by most of my subscribers, so I might just have to upload it again. And a few of my subscribers actually told me that they never got notified about it. They get notified about all my other videos, but for some reason that one was never notified about, which is very odd. Remember to remain humble and always believe that you could be wrong. I used to be so full of myself because I thought I knew everything. Well, that is not good, and that is what stifles progress. You want to know how to accurately monitor areas? Wondering why more people will listen to you if you tell the truth, regardless of what you personally believe? Please, try being humble. Just try it. Because I am getting just a little sick and tired of people on YouTube being so full of themselves, and sometimes maybe even not showing it, but that they refuse to learn from anyone else. And when anyone says even the tiniest thing that goes against their opinions, they get very, very defensive. I notice you can't even comment on someone's video with constructive criticism anymore. They'll think you're being disrespectful. Isn't that ridiculous? If someone was jumping off a cliff, do you think it'd be disrespectful to keep them from jumping off the cliff and saving them? If I was incorrect about something, do you think the best thing to do is push that person away and continue to be incorrect, even though you were handed the truth right in your face? No! Personally, if I am wrong about something, I completely, 100% encourage people to criticize me. That is how people should learn, through personal trial and error and personal experience. I just wish more people, most of which are actually older than my age, which is 25 years old, would be humble and at their age. It's sad because YouTube is almost turning into an elementary school. Now, one example, this is just a small example, because other things have been happening for a few months now, but one example, on this one channel, a good channel, it's got some great content too, but I will not state whose channel it is though, was using the Old Faithful webcam and made a video. You know the Old Faithful webcam, the one I'm using right now? Yes, that is the Upper Geyser Basin, guys, just letting you know. They then stated that the webcam was pointed towards the Norris Geyser Basin, which they say is right here. And that Steamboat is shown on the webcam, and they said Steamboat was off to the left right here, I believe. That is what they said. So I commented that Steamboat is farther north, and that this was the Upper Geyser Basin, and Steamboat resides within the Norris Geyser Basin about 20 miles or so north of the Upper Geyser Basin. What do you think happened? Do you think they just said, oh, sorry, I didn't know I was incorrect? Because I was very kind. I was just helping them along. I thought they were just mistaken about something. Because if I'm mistaken about something, I want someone to come up to me and tell me I'm wrong so I could change it. But what happened? My comments were deleted and videos continue to be posted with the wrong information. If something is confirmed to be incorrect, why would people continue to post that incorrect information anyways? That's a little unprofessional, guys. And I'm not saying they're maybe doing it on purpose, but, you know, I'm not mad at them or anything. It'd just be nice that people were humble enough to admit that they can be wrong, even about the tiny, tiny things, too. So what I did is I just unsubscribed and we went our separate ways. And I'm never going to comment on their videos ever again. Well, sorry for venting to you guys. I just had to get that out. I've been holding that in for quite a while. If you guys ever need any seismic data, personally made helicorders just for you, or anything else, please visit my website or simply comment below or email me. I will continue to monitor seismic and volcanic hazard areas, and I will always promise to be humble, faithful, and professional. I will always stand for the truth no matter where it leads. Always. That's because the truth is hate or fear to those who hate or fear the truth. And that's the truth. Thank you for your time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless. Ben Ferraiuolo signing off.